And now for something completely different.
Hi, and welcome to episode 3 of Under the Volcano with me, Nigel Simmons.
And me, Ian Wallace.
And coming up in this week's show, we have Bali Have a Go Hero beats up robber. It's minus 27 degrees in Alaska. Billy's adventures at the bus stop after drinking special brew, and a man who fought his way up the hill to beat up pikeys. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Well, here we are,
Yes.
Island Brewing.
Yes,
That's
yes.
a beautiful drop.
It is a beautiful job.
Yeah.
And thanks to our sponsor, because I've been drinking this, Ian, this week. It's been good, 3.5%. I'm liking the low alcohol.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, and I can understand that. I've been drinking Bintang,
Or special brew.
or no special brew, but
You can get it here, you know.
can you?
Yeah.
What is it? But would it be like the Balinese Guinness, which bears no resemblance?
No. Look, let's just talk about that quickly, because Guinness, which we love.
Yes,
I spent a year in Dublin.
Nice.
Beautiful year in Dublin drinking
I can
Guinness.
imagine.
I mean, I really drank that black stuff. It was fantastic, and used to enjoy it in Bali. Mm-hmm. Then there was a massive ban on it.
Right.
In terms of the draft, anyway. I'm only talking draft here.
Okay. Yeah.
Because of, I think, the trade dispute between Indonesia and Europe.
Yep.
That banned palm oil. So they banned palm oil, and as a result, or in retribution,
Oh, right.
Indonesia banned all European products. Did you know that? So that's why you can't
ringing
get
a bell.
Yeah, you can't get like good French cheeses.
Yep.
For instance, in Bali. Because they fuckers banned it, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, the Guinness got banned, and then out came this thing in a can, right? And I don't care what country in the world you're from, where they have canned Guinness.
Yeah.
It's always the same, isn't it?
Yes.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. It's not good.
What do they do to it?
They fuck it up.
They don't. It's just. It must be a completely different brewing process.
It's probably just for the fact they have to keep it preserved in a can.
No, but it tastes like a sort of a lager,
Yeah, no, it's
fizzy lager with a bunch of, with like it's been,
it's fucking chemicals.
yeah, it's chemicals. It looks like it's just disgusting. It's flat, it's horrible, it's fizzy.
Yeah.
It's just appalling. And then there was a phase where bars in Bali would start advertising as having draft Guinness.
Right.
And so you think, oh, you get in there, you know, if you didn't know about the European ban.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
If you get in there, and they would get out the pint, and they would diligently, you know, pull the lever.
Put a shamrock in the top.
Yeah, try and put a
Bit of
shamrock
froth.
in the froth.
Yeah.
And they'd put it in front of you, and you'd take one sip of it, and just like, because they used to put the canned shit into barrels.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then put the pump onto the bar and try and serve you that as some sort of,
Yes.
you know, draft Guinness. I've been to a couple of these places, and I've just sent it back. And I said, look, I'm not drinking
Yeah,
that
rightly
piss,
so.
you know.
Rightly so.
But I don't know why somehow it's still on every shelf you see this.
I know, it's the thing.
Yeah.
I've had it probably last year, maybe 4 or 5 times, just to remind myself that it was bloody awful.
It's awful.
Yeah, no, it's dreadful stuff. It bears no resemblance. No resemblance.
No resemblance to our sponsor beer.
So we will stick to Island Brewing
Indeed.
and
The light ale.
the light ale.
The delightful light
Yes.
ale. And by the way, we've run out. So, Ty, if you're out there, send more beer.
Yeah, we need beer. We need beer.
Because we've got 4 cans left, and we're going to drink those. And after that, we're going to have to be switching to something else. I think, whatever's under the desk. Yeah.
Yes.
We'll have a look.
But it might have a red and white label.
Anyway, it was good to see that our short discussion about Special Brew last week. A lot of people identified with that. It was quite shocking, really. But then I think about it. I mean, everybody's got an adolescent Special Brew story. Some people said, oh, it wasn't Special Brew. It was like, you know, Tennant's Extra.
Yeah.
You remember Tennant's?
Oh, yeah, that was dreadful. That was Scottish tipple, wasn't it?
It wasn't dreadful. It was just fucking strong. I mean,
Yeah.
like 8-9%.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Tennant's. And then people talked about snake bites.
Yep.
Which, of course, anybody out there who is a proper drinker
Yeah.
will know is a mix of lager and cider. Yeah. So we used to drink that in Norfolk quite a lot. I imagine you would.
Yeah, no. Well, do you remember Banham Cider House?
I don't.
No, that was sort of between Attleborough and Thetford.
All right.
So yeah, but I think you'd probably get thrown out if you went in there and asked for a snake bite.
Well, in some places,
proper cider.
It was banned.
Yeah.
Drink snake bites. Because we also used to do the terrible thing. I don't know if you do this, but we'd mix it. Then we'd ask for a snake bite, which is half a Tennent's or something lager, mixed with a cider, and then in the top we'd put a Pernod and blackcurrant.
Yeah, to make that's be right exotic. That's a cocktail.
So you get a pint of snake bite, Pernod and black. It'd be this pink kind of purple brew.
But the thing is, you know that your vomit at the end of the day was always going to be purple.
That's true, yeah. It's a bit like eating dragon fruit.
That's right, yeah, exactly so. Yeah.
Have you had dragon fruit and then in the morning you've sort of forgotten about it?
Yeah.
And you go to the toilet and you look down and think, Jesus Christ, I'm dying. I'm dying. Call the doctor. So special brew.
Yeah.
And but the special brew and cider with the Pernod Black was the go-to. Anyway, we had some great comments and feedback about that, and from Billy especially. Shout out to Billy, who shares his special brew story. Carlsberg Special Brew. He writes on our YouTube channel. At 13 years old, when all went terribly wrong in a bus stop with Julie, resulting in smelly fingers, eventually a stomach pump, and a difficult explanation to my dad about my mum's missing Marty.
I wonder if he married Julie.
I know Billy quite well, and I know he didn't.
And he didn't.
No. He made a far better choice than that.
Okay, cool.
3 gorgeous girls.
Cool.
Yeah, so, and then in response to our moan about no one smiling on the London Underground, it's a big thing of our time. Yeah. So Mart Smith, 63, wrote to us on our YouTube channel. When was the last time you were on the tube? Most people on the tube are non-English today and perfectly happy to smile back or give you a nod of the head. Try it, he says. I'm always smiling at people and they always smile back. However, I am very handsome, so probably have an advantage over you guys.
I think it's pretty good point. Good point.
Thanks, Mark. Yeah, thanks for that comment. I know we do appreciate that, and you probably are better looking. Okay,
I'm sure he is.
But you haven't got a world-class podcast.
No.
So anyway, thanks for. Is it Mark Smith? Do you know the chap?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, no comment. A bit sorry.
No, he's my best mate.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. All right. Well,
but I kept that quiet. I kept that under my hat.
Well done, yeah.
But no, he's a lovely guy.
And from Alaska, indeed, Grant wrote, Malcolm Lowry wrote the book Under the Volcano, which is the name of our podcast, of course, in Kate's Park, living on the beach. I grew up 1 house from the park, he says. The trail through the park was named after him. He also shares, it was -20 degrees here last night, and I can't wait to get back to Bali. So, Grant's at -27 degrees.
Wow.
You deserve a better life than that.
Yes.
And Bali...
That is damn cold.
Bali awaits you. So, Ian, what have you been up to this week, mate?
Well, we had, I think actually it's when we left the studio last week, the rain was biblical. I mean, we are in the middle of the rainy season, so it's not going to be, it's no surprise.
Not an unusual situation.
But man alive, it was torrential.
Yeah.
And it's been sort of hit and miss all week. So I haven't been to the beach. I've been doing stuff in the mornings thing. And then I've been having a look at 80s films.
Okay.
So on the strength of a conversation that you and I had, I watched With Nail and I.
With Nail and I. Top 3 films, I'd say, yeah.
Delightful.
Isn't it?
I think that's probably and I'm surprised that I hadn't seen it before. Obviously, I've heard of it,
but
I'd never seen it. So I spent, a lovely afternoon in the rain, under my canopy.
It's gorgeous.
Watching that.
I've forgotten who wrote it, but he...
oh, God, yeah.
Bruce, I think his name was, wasn't it? Bruce Richardson, I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Might need a fact check on that, Fleety.
Yeah.
Our producer, Fleety, always on the balls. Can't check that. Bruce Richardson? I don't know. Didn't he also write How to Get Ahead in Advertising?
I don't know.
Have you not seen that one?
No.
That's also with Richard E. Grant.
Okay.
Also, brilliant movie.
Yeah.
I loved it. Anyway, With Nail and I, what a sensational piece of work that is.
Just
So gorgeously
very
done.
timely and of its time.
Yeah.
And so that led me down a bit of a rabbit hole. So
Well, actually, just quickly, we're going to cut to one of our favourite clips of With Nail and I.
What a piece of work is a man. How noble in reason, how infinite in faculties, how like an angel in apprehension, how like a god, the beauty of the world, paragon of animals. Yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delights not me. No, nor women neither. No women neither.
That's gorgeous. It's Bruce Robinson
Right.
wrote it.
Sure.
Fleety tells us. Thank you, Fleety.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that I don't know. He worked in a bit of Shakespeare. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And maybe we've played that clip. I
Yeah,
can't.
yeah.
Say, but what a piece of work!
No, there was just some
in the rain.
some fantastic little just one-liners or two-liners.
Yeah, just.
I need to watch it many more times.
And I've got a story about that. Actually, the Uncle Monty, I think it was Richard Griffiths.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
beautiful actor.
Yeah, yeah.
And he played Uncle Monty in that movie. And I mean to have you by burglary, or whatever the saying is. Another quick clip there.
I know you're not asleep, boy.
No, I'm not. What is it, Monty? What do you want?
I had to come. I tried not to. Oh, how I tried not to.
Listen, Monty, there's something I have to explain to you.
You needn't explain. He's told me everything. He told me that first day you came to Chelsea.
What's he told you?
He told me about your arrest on the Tottenham Court Road. He told me about your problems. How you feel. Your desires.
Problems? What problems?
You are a toilet trader.
But back in the day, I was at the theatre in the West End in London, invited by a very good friend, and went to see some play. It was a Pinter play. It was a gorgeous play. I forget the name of it. It was absolutely stunning. But halfway through the play, as we're all sitting in this Elizabethan theatre, absolutely kind of very, very nice.
Yeah,
nice
yeah.
bit. Richard Griffith walks onto the stage as one of the characters, and I had to fucking swallow my fist not to shout out, "Uncle Monty, you terrible cunt!" I just had to bite my fist. But what a great movie.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, I'm just trying to think of one line which I thought was really very simple, very funny. When they were in the car, it was a beautiful Jag, by the way.
Beautiful Jag.
Man alive. And he woke up and he said, "Are we there?" And he said, "No, we're here." And I just thought it was wonderful. Yeah.
I also like the Jimi Hendrix when he's in the car as well. And he's the guy with Nail. That's wakes up.
Yeah.
And with Nail's there speeding off his tits, driving the Jag. He said, "What's going on?" And he's like, "I'm making time."
That's right. Yeah.
Another clip. Yeah.
I'm making time.
Beautiful film. What else have you been watching?
So that led me down a bit of a rabbit hole on 80s stuff. And I watched Boys from the Black Stuff again.
Boys from the Black Stuff.
Yeah,
Right,
just
okay.
a wonderful. I mean, it was a series. I think it might have been 8 episodes. I can't remember, but again, a social commentary on what was happening in the early 80s.
It was, just for those that haven't watched it, it was the story of brickies, basically, and workmen that went over to Germany, right?
No, that was Auf Wiedersehen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm
No, so
completely wrong.
this was basically guys who had worked on the roads on the black stuff. And
You mean Tom McAdam?
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
okay.
And just that almost took a second, by the by, because it was about the relationship of the people, the poverty,
So they were right, because I can't actually remember seeing it.
Shit.
Yeah.
Thatcher's Britain.
Oh, Thatcher's Britain.
You know?
Thatcher, the milk
There's some
snatcher.
very strong characters. Probably the strongest character was Bernard Hill, because he engaged with a lot of people.
Okay.
That was
Who was the? What was his character?
So he was Yozza Hughes.
Yozza Hughes.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Who just, I can't really explain it better. You need to watch it.
Right.
You need to watch it.
Okay, well, let's just watch a quick clip from Boys from the Black Stuff.
I've got no money.
Oh, well, I mean, that explains everything.
Yeah, I'm never having an hard time with the HP. I mean, all those frigging installments.
You send the stuff back then.
I would if I could, but I've sold most of it already. Here I am, a man. A man. A man with no job. Looking for one. I'm trying to find a Scarlet Pimpernel.
With Bernard Hill.
And Bernard Hill then went on to be a superstar in Lord of the Rings and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, did he?
And spookily enough, lives on the Norfolk-Suffolk border
Does he? He's a Norfolk boy.
in Metfield.
Our boy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's been my week. Just,
Okay.
sort of reminiscing, feeling quite sad about how things were during the 80s.
Yeah. Well, it was a tough time, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was shit.
With the coal miners and Thatcher.
Yeah. And that was another series that I've been watching about the miners' strike,
Yeah.
which is very polarizing.
Really.
But yeah.
And what an odd cycle we've been through in order to reach the point at where we are now in England, because you've got former miners like Lee Anderson, the complete turd, who's become a Tory.
Exactly.
Whereas his he used to be a Labour councillor, I think.
Yeah,
And I'm sure that his family must be horrified that
Yeah.
he's now a Tory,
Yeah.
And he's not just any old Tory. He was, until they just removed him, the Tory dog, attack dog.
Absolutely. Just a dreadful person.
So England's gone full circle with all that, hasn't it? And it circles fascism, I think, very well.
Yeah.
We managed to have stayed out of it. I'm not sure what's going to go on in America, honestly, with Trump.
No.
Because that's clearly borderline fascism, and he wants to be a dictator, doesn't he? He wants to be, just like the king of Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Able to just chop people up, poison them, and flush them down the toilet.
There you go.
And get away with it. So, big elections going on this year everywhere in the world, but I think the biggest is going to be what's going to go on between Sleepy Joe and Donald Rapist Trump.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
been a lot in the news about that these days. But talking about news, proper news.
Proper news.
Let's see what's been in the Sanor Weekly.
Well, there you go.
This week from the Sanor Weekly.
The Sanor, this week from the Sanor Weekly. I do love that little thing you've done, yeah.
Okay.
So coming in at number one this week from the Sanor Weekly on page 4. Here it is. Yeah, it's a story about, it's entitled Messing with the Wrong Guy. I do like this. And we love the Sanor Weekly. It's got a great handle on what's going on. I really, finger on the pulse in Bali. Absolutely. So, when two drunkards began harassing a girl on a motorbike in front of them at an intersection on Jalan Raya Kerobokan, their words and actions did not go down well with a local Muay Thai athlete identified only as Komang from Buleleng. So Komang from Buleleng happened to have stopped right behind the girl and seen these two guys harassing her. He stepped off his bike and beat the living shit out of both of the robbers.
Good.
I love that.
Yes,
story.
we like
Everybody loves a vigilante story.
yeah,
So good one. And so the prize of the week to Komang from Buleleng. We love you, man. And we love the Sanor Weekly for that. Yeah. It was, of course, captured by onlookers on their phones.
Yeah.
As everything is these days. And some people aren't captured, though. They actually talk into their phones. And this is the other story which I liked this week from the Sanor Weekly. It's entitled, This Is Not What I Want. And it's another tourist who's complained about traffic and rubbish in a viral video. I don't see how these people don't get where this is all going to end. So after a foreign man believed to be Australian made headlines last week, we spoke about it. And he posted a rather offensive video in which he called Bali the worst place in the world because of the traffic, etc., etc. another video has basically surfaced with the same subject, featuring a female tourist this time, and judging by her accent, she's a British national, but she didn't sound like she was from Norfolk.
No, I think she's from the West Country.
So she must have been that farm next door. She's from that farm next door. So the woman in the video complains about the traffic, as usual. She calls it awful and unbearable. And then she goes to Kuta Beach.
Yep.
Why would you go to Kuta Beach?
Well,
When
exactly.
you're looking for the dream of Bali.
Exactly.
You're like, let's go to Kuta
Do
Beach.
your homework.
Yeah, right. Go to Kuta Beach. Of course, it's the wrong time of year. There's a bunch of rubbish on the beach. It's Kuta Beach.
Yep.
And so she's had a shocker about that because she's believed everything she's seen on Instagram. And all the influencers have been posting their videos of them swinging on those beautiful things above the Green Valley.
This is nowhere near Kuta.
There's nowhere near Kuta. Yeah, and she's like, there's no waterfalls, man. So she's complained. And of course, the authorities,
Yes.
aka Nilu Jalantic, has been on her case, and she's been duly rounded up and kicked out.
Yep. No, it's good. It's good. And funnily enough, I saw another one of her missives where she was complaining about the height of the curbs in Bali.
Right. Yeah.
Saying, if you go for a night out, you're going to break your leg if you fall off a curb,
Well, it's probably true.
Yeah. Well,
But, whose fault is that?
yeah, exactly. Don't get pissed in Bali.
Well, I mean, you can get pissed. It's not a problem.
But try not to...
And it's okay to sort of complain privately about, how things are managed or not managed here. I mean, we get how it is. It's all good. But
We do.
You either accept it, you see the reality, or you shut the fuck up.
Well, exactly, because they've now got the Bali, what they call the Bali Tourism
Police.
Task Force.
Oh, the task force. Yeah.
Who quite rightly, they want to protect Bali's reputation.
Yeah.
And people who moan about the rubbish and all that sort of, the plastic waste, blah, 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 which obviously is a problem in Bali.
Is a problem.
I mean, it's a problem over this side of the world. But they also need to understand that when we're in a rainy season, the big rains wash all the shit into the sea, and then it comes back inland, and not necessarily from Bali, from other lines.
Well, there's two things going on. So you've got your shit that's coming down, the plastic, of course.
Yep.
Those stupid little one-use plastic things coming down in the rivers, chucked into the villages, from the villages, coming down in the rivers onto the beaches. And then you've got your sort of ships dumping crap off seas, off the beach or whatever, into the sea, which sort of washes up with the tides,
But do you remember, was it latter part of last year, there was an elephant got washed up? Remember that?
No, I don't.
Yeah, there was an elephant got washed up.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think that came from Bali.
Oh, that's true. That would have been a sight for sore eyes.
Yeah,
It's bizarre.
Yeah.
Wonder what the story of that behind that is.
Don't know.
I wonder. I mean, that really...
That was a hell of a barbecue.
Jesus. I mean...
Yeah, no, it's an elephant. Well, they reckon it was
I'm
an
struggling to see how that might have happened.
Yeah, no, I did.
Unless they were
I
transporting...
saw a futu.
Really?
Yeah.
So what, they were transporting elephants from
No,
Smartphone or
it
something?
obviously died in India and fucking floated across.
Well, how is it possibly going to remain whole having spent that long? Because India to Bali is a long time.
That's a long way.
How's it? It's not going to be eaten along the way by fish. I mean,
Well, they might have had a nibble.
no, that'd be eaten completely. I mean,
That was quite a big elephant.
that's
I'll
unbelievable.
see if I can find a futu.
Yeah, we might have to have a photo of that and some photographic proof.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, I like this story in the Seminal Weekly this week, and it's a bit of a gang war story. It's sort of hidden
Oh, yeah.
on page 26. It's sort of hidden, and I'm going to read it out in its entirety. It's in the news compressed section, which is just one paragraph. It says a 30-year-old Turkish man, identified only as TM, was shot by what police described as a group of attackers at a rented villa in Bali's Mengwi district. Number one, there aren't a great deal of guns on this island. You don't see them, The cops have got them, but, it's a bit like England and that. You just don't see guns. I mean, they're obviously here. But then the local press reported that 3 men, believed to be foreign nationals, arrived at the location in the early hours of Thursday morning and immediately began shooting at the victim. CCTV footage from the villa shows only one of the men carrying a gun, but it's believed that all of the attackers were armed. TM suffered 5 gunshot wounds to his arm and abdomen, but is reported to be in a stable condition, but is still under medical care. Investigators have been unable to establish a motive for the attack, despite interviewing the victim and 5 other witnesses. Now, here's the kicker. Update, it says at the bottom.
Yeah.
According to the latest report, all 3 suspects in the shooting have been arrested and are reportedly Mexican nationals.
Those filthy Mexicans.
No. So wait. So you've got 3 Mexicans have arrived at Villa armed in Mengui and have shot a Turkish man.
Yeah.
So that just to me says, Mexicans and Turkish in some sort of... They're probably Australians,
Yeah,
It doesn't say that they're not of Australian descent, but the idea that Mexicans should be over here, gangbangers like this over here with guns.
Yeah.
I mean, how do they get the guns?
How do they get them in? Yeah.
Well, they're obviously not getting them in, are they? Because you're not going to get through the airport with a gun, are you? So they've obviously bought them here, and they've got connections, with the local, whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, who's got the guns here?
Yeah. Not us.
Not us. No, I mean, and and then the Turkish man. So it's a Turkey Mexican gang war.
Yeah.
What's it all coming to, Ian?
Who knows? And then we came here for a bit of peace and quiet.
No, we did, didn't we?
Yeah. So there you go.
You've been looking at the Bali Sun, aren't you?
The Bali Sun. Yeah. So it's quite an interesting publication because it's sort of Australian orientated.
Okay.
But obviously, reflects what's happening in Bali.
Right.
So this week, there's been, again, on social media, Instagram, a bunch of Herberts, we'll call them white blokes, because that's what they are, driving or riding the scooters along the bypass.
Right.
There's about, I think it's 5 or so.
Yeah, no, I saw the video. It's a 5 or 8 quite buff white blows.
Big motherfucker.
On X Maxes.
Yeah.
With
no
helmets.
No helmets.
Yeah. Looking a bit like a gang.
Exactly. And just... Yeah, it's just inappropriate.
It was inappropriate.
Yeah.
It's more than inappropriate, I think.
Yeah.
No helmets and no T-shirts.
So basically, it's violating the laws of this this island.
It is.
And despite the fact we know that Balinese people are quite happy, they don't have to wear helmets and stuff.
Well, they sort of do.
Well, they do, but they don't.
Unless they're going to the temple, or the mosque.
Yeah. So we've got this influx of people who are coming here and
coming over here,
disrespecting our rules and regulations. But
bringing us money.
That's right. Yeah, buying that beer,
buying all the beer, setting up restaurants.
So
paying their taxes, all that stuff,
yeah. So anyway, the police are onto them.
Yeah, and of course the police's proxy, Nilu Jelantik Ibu, she's out to finger anybody that's not doing a nice thing here in Bali. So you better watch out. So better take care.
No, behave yourselves.
Behave yourself. Wear a fucking helmet.
Yeah, and we're at the end of the day, okay, we live here. We're fortunate that we live here, but and I see the behaviour of, let's say, white people.
Oh, yeah.
When they come here, behaving like, what?
They're on holiday, man.
Yeah.
But talking about that, do you remember that time me and you sat in the pub and those 2 Australian gangbangers came
yes,
over?
I do.
They'd been creating havoc in our Sanor local for about 2 weeks. They were pissed that they got in charge of the remote control and they put on all this fucking rap music. They were just horrible. I've got nothing against tattoos, but they were completely tattooed. They were just fucking gangbangers, and they were pissed constantly to the point where no one else was going to the bar. This has been going on for 2 weeks, and I went down there to meet Ian to discuss the podcast. I think our first pilot podcast.
It was.
And I walked in, and they were there, sat at the bar, and I thought, oh, fuck it, Ian, we need to go next door. We need to get away from these blokes, So you're already wound up by them, right?
Yeah. No, I was. They were just being fucking horrible.
They were awful.
Anyway. The bar we're talking about is just a little bar with normally 1, maybe 2 barmaids in there.
Yeah. So we went next door and to another little drinking hole, and we sat there peacefully having a beer.
Yes.
And I looked over, and all I saw was one of the blokes come from the other bar. He was completely naked.
On the road.
He was completely naked
Yeah.
on the road, waggling his thing around.
Yeah.
I just thought, I sort of shouted at him, "Look, man, you stop it! You're gonna get fucking arrested."
Yeah.
He was clearly very, very drunk. He found some shorts and he came into the bar, didn't he?
That's
he
right.
walked into the bar. Let me just describe what happened. So this guy walks into the bar. He's got no shirt on. He's got a pair of flimsy shorts on. He's shit-faced and he's clearly looking for a fight. And he looks over at us. He's looking around the bar. Who the fuck is, looking at him? And he's being mouthy. And I thought, this is not going to go well. So my approach in these situations is to avoid any kind of physical violence, because none of it ends well.
No.
Even if you win or whatever, it just doesn't end well. It certainly doesn't end well in Bali, and engaging with is a very stupid thing. However, he was an extremely annoying drunk asshole, and he scanned the room. He told everyone to fuck off. And then he got to, and I looked over at Ian and I thought, I can see the white on his knuckles going, oh no, Jesus, no. So I said, Ian, just stay in your chair, man. And then he sat in his chair. I thought, just stay in, just fucking ignore him. He'll fuck off. And then he looked at Ian and he said, all right, mate. And Ian looked at him and said, I ain't your fucking mate. Yeah. And I thought, oh shit, here we go. And then he stood up. Oh, I thought, fuck. So it all kicked off, didn't it?
It did. Yeah, so I was in my first barroom brawl.
It was a barroom brawl.
In what, about 50 years.
It's extraordinary.
Yeah, I got a couple of punches to the head.
You did. And he was a lot taller than you.
And about 25 years old.
25 years old and a lot taller. And he was quite handy. He thankfully was very drunk. So, he wasn't completely the top of his game. And there was another bloke in the bar, because we all got to our feet at that point. And then again, I'm like, this is not going to end well. Because what are you going to do? You're going to smash the guy with a bottle and beat him up and throw him on the street, kill him, Who wins in that situation?
Exactly.
Nobody wins in that situation. So I'm like there. And there was this other little guy, Aussie guy, who, because I see him lining up for the big punch, the second punch, because you got your one on the head and you were in there sort of scuffling away.
Yeah.
And he got you on the head. He was lining up for the big punch. And this little bloke who happened to be next to him stuck his hand out fleetly to block the big punch.
The big one that was coming from me.
And he blocked it like that.
Yeah.
And at that point, the barmaid, who must have weighed
about
under 40
40
kilos, just leapt on him, and grabbed his arm and sort of hung on him and just dragged him out into the street. And then the phone calls were made, and the Pechalang being the local vigilante temple police, if you like, the guys with the sunglasses and the proper and the muscles and the tattoos, they turned up, and the bloke had gone back into the bar. And then I just saw this one guy turn up. I actually made a call to the Pechalang or to the bar owner, and she called him. Just the guy arrived. He was about, this Balinese bloke must have been 6'2",
Right.
which is not that tall.
No.
But he was about
Probably
metre and a
wide.
half.
Yeah.
He was a metre and a half across his shoulders like that.
Yeah.
And he had a 26-inch waist.
Right.
Like that. He was just, he had some beautiful tattoos.
Yeah.
And he was fit as fuck.
Yeah.
And he had a gorgeous smile on his face. And he just turned up. He said, where are they? To me, like that. I said, they're next door. And so he just casually wandered next door. And with a beautiful smile on his face, he grabbed the guy very nicely, sort of, I guess there must be some sort of
pressure point.
Around the back of his arm.
Yeah.
And he just squeezed slightly with a beautiful smile on his face. And he said, I think it's time I took you home. And the guy went like a little puppy. He was like just led out like a little puppy like that.
Yeah.
Put on the back of his bloke's bike.
Yeah.
And
it was,
never heard from again.
No. Well, I think he fucked off the next day.
Well, I prefer the other scenario, which he was just never heard from.
That's right. Yeah.
Again. Yeah. So there we go. You don't fuck around with the Pechalang, do you?
No. So that was, There
we are, man. That's your first bar fight.
There you go.
I was proud of you, but I also saw that, again, I don't know.
Well, the worst thing was that as he was punching me, I was then turning around to pick that fucking chair up.
Well, that's the thing.
To swing at it.
Well, exactly. You know.
Which would have ended in me being in prison.
Exactly.
And him.
So it's like you go to prison, he gets, his head doved in, and I just don't. And I have to be the witness.
Yeah.
I would have to run away and pretend I wasn't there or something.
Yeah.
I don't. Ian Wallace, never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of the bloke. Anyway, there we are. Bar fights. I just hate them. We've all been them.
Yeah.
And a large reason why I left England, because in our time in the sort of late 70s, walking the streets in Norfolk at night was not
horrible.
a fucking thing to do,
Yeah, we alluded to this before, I think. It's just this horrible sort of
Thatcher's
underlying
Britain.
threat of fucking nasty.
Yeah. Circling fascism.
Yeah.
Like a shark.
Yeah.
And that's
good.
sadly what's going on in England. So
But on a brighter note,
yep. We're in Bali.
we're in Bali.
Yeah.
We're in Bali, where the tolerance levels are of noisy motorbikes.
Oh yes, the noise.
really love
Let's just visit that quickly.
Yeah, let's look at
that. Noise motorbike, because that's been a thing
Yeah.
in. Hasn't been in the Sun or Weekly, and I'm a little bit disappointed by the news desk at the Sun or Weekly.
Yeah.
Not.
I
You saw that on the
I
Sun.
spotted on the Bali Sun.
Yeah, so I see that they've got their little machines now.
Yeah, little decibel meters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no one likes a noisy motorbike, do they?
I quite like. I mean, we both like bikes.
Yeah.
And we like
Noisy bikes.
noisy bikes. But when it's a noise emanating from a 150,
Yeah.
it's just fucking annoying.
No, it is annoying.
know.
Yeah.
So I live on a little gang where you can't get cars up the gang, but you can get bikes. So gang is a little lane, little alleyway.
Yeah.
So we've got bikes going past all the time,
Right.
and
It's annoying.
just noisy. You can't hear the telly.
No, oh God, can't even tell you. No, I see also that if you're like illegally parked these days, they have, this is a very interesting policy from the traffic unit, is they let your tyres.
I know. What a it's a brilliant idea.
Well, is it?
That'll stop them.
Well, where are you going to go with that?
But it means they're going to
You're illegally
park there
parked.
even longer.
Exactly, you're illegally parked. Please move your car, sir.
Yeah.
Or please move your bike, sir. But it's all got a flat tyre.
Yeah, well, yeah, push it. But on the bikes, so this was, I mean, it's been going on anyway, and I was seeing various stuff on social media. But last weekend, it must have been on Saturday, I think, in going through Denpasar, and quite a big
Section.
yeah.
Pertigaan.
And there was probably about
Boan.
6 or 7 bikes there, all with no exhaust systems on them, because the police had stopped them.
Yeah.
You're too noisy, or they call it a brong exhaust. Just take the exhaust off them. I think it's fucking brilliant.
Well, that also,
Makes me laugh.
doesn't it make him louder?
Well, yeah, it does. But I don't know how they then get them home.
Well, there's that.
But
the logic is gorgeous.
But I just love the idea that you're too noisy. We'll take it off.
The logic is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And that's why we live here.
It is.
Under
What
the
a
volcano.
lovely place to live.
Yeah,
What a
under the
lovely place.
volcano. Ian, it's been good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you, Nigel. Yeah.
See you next week.
Yeah,
Have at ya.
Next week. Have at you. Bye bye.
Ah, boy.